In this episode, I'm going to go over a way that you can make sure that you are confident for every single game as an athlete. Hey there, I'm Eli Straw, mental performance coach and the founder of SuccessStartsWithin.com. Now, before I go into this strategy, if you are interested in one-on-one mental performance coaching or the online program I have available, the Confident Competitor Academy, I've put links to both of those in the description below. Now, when it comes to being confident for games, it's critical that you are relying on yourself to generate this state of confidence. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, it means that you are not looking to other people for your confidence. You're not relying on the fact that you played a really good last game to give you that feeling of confidence going into this next game. You're not relying on your coach having, just told you that you've been playing really well recently in practice to give you a sense of confidence. In other words, we're not relying on things outside of ourselves to give us a feeling that we are responsible to give ourselves, right? We have to give ourselves this feeling of being confident. We don't want to rely on other people. But now that's a lot easier said than done. It's very easy for me to say confidence needs to come from yourself rather than confidence coming from other people. And the reason that I can say that, right? I know it's an easy thing to say, it's a difficult thing to do, but the reason that I can say that, and I recommend it to all the athletes that I work with, is because when you rely on things outside of yourself for confidence, such as your coach giving you a good comment, that means that you are relying on something out of your control to give you confidence. But we also know that confidence is an emotional state or a mental state that is really needed in order to go out there and play freely during a game. And if you don't have confidence and you're not playing freely, we can only assume that you're holding yourself back. You're playing timidly. You're underperforming. Now, we could think, all right, well, any coach is going to want to give their athlete confidence by picking them up. But what happens when coach yells at you because you made a mistake during practice or because you haven't been playing well so far in the game? Maybe the first half or the first few innings haven't been going very well. Or let's say that you get your confidence based purely on whether or not you played well your last game. Well, as much as I wish it was, playing well in a game is not 100% in your control. Otherwise, you'd be having perfect games every single game. Playing well in a game is up to a lot of different factors, such as the opponent that you're facing. And if you only have confidence going into the next game, if you played well in your previous game, then you run into a lot of trouble if you have played poorly, and then that's where you find yourself in a slump because you can't find confidence simply because this confidence is only coming from the previous game you played. And the previous game you played was not a very good performance. When we rely on things outside of ourselves to give us confidence, we see our confidence go up and down. And when we see our confidence go up and down, we see our performance go up and down. So now we have inconsistent performances. We need to make sure that our mental state is consistent going into games, and the mental state that we want is a confident state. In order to do that, we need to know what we need to do personally as the athlete in order to build a sense or generate a state of confidence. Now, what you can do in order to really create this, what we can kind of call a confidence recipe, right? What you need to do in order to feel confident is you can think about what currently gives you confidence, right? Just make a list of it. And this is something I have all the players I work with do. Make a list of everything that gives you confidence. Then what you want to do is you want to try to, look through that list and think, well, what's in my control? All right, well, I wrote down coach giving me positive feedback. Well, that's not in my control. But I did write down remembering times I've played well. Well, that is within my control. The playing well part isn't, but remembering those games that I played well going into my next game, that is within my control. Because it doesn't have to be my last game that I played well. I could be thinking back 3 games, to the most recent game that I played well, but I'm still thinking about a game that I played well. Or maybe I write down positive self-talk. Well, that is something in my control. But having my teammates giving me motivation, that's not 100% within my control. Right? So once you really write down and identify what is within your control, you want to make another list of the things that are 100% within your control. And that's going to be things like your self-talk. That's going to be things like the preparation you put in throughout the week, your pregame routine, remembering past successes going into the next game. That's 100% within your control. And then the last step of all this is you want to take everything that you wrote down that is 100% within your control, and you want to create a plan for yourself. And this plan is what we call your confidence recipe. right? So a really great example of this is a baseball player who generates a confidence recipe for himself. And his confidence recipe includes the preparation he does throughout the week leading up to a game. This includes the work he does hitting off the tee and his batting cage work. It also includes the ground ball drills that he does throughout the week. But then in addition to those physical skills or those physical kind of training elements that he's using, he also does some mindfulness meditation every day. And he practices positive self-talk in order to have a good mindset going into the game. And then he also knows that leading into the game, he has a set pregame routine he uses where he goes through his stretching. He performs some mindfulness meditation again, and then he does a little visualization going into the game. And then during the game, he knows he needs to stick to his pre-at-bat routine, his pre-pitch routine in the field, and he needs to make sure that during the game, he's having a lot of good and positive self-talk. And if he does that, he knows he's giving himself a great chance of playing in a confident state. And if he does that, or he follows that plan, right, and sticks to those actions every single week, every single game, he will be playing in a more confident state consistently. Now, of course, there will be dips, right? And if he has a couple bad games in a row, his confidence won't be as high, but it will be higher than it would be if he was relying purely on things outside of his control. So what I really recommend you do, if you want to show up to every single game in this, this foundational level of confidence, or with this foundational level of confidence, create your own confidence recipe. Think about what currently gives you confidence and try to eliminate the things that are out of your control. Not eliminate them to where they don't give you confidence anymore, because they always will give you confidence, but we want to eliminate them from the things that we are relying on. And then let's really focus on what is 100% within our control, that we can make sure we stick to, we create a plan surrounding them, right, and create a routine for ourselves so that we can be confident, that we can generate this state of confidence going into games. And when you do, this is where you'll find yourself playing in a more consistent mindset and playing well on a more consistent basis. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I put out new videos each week on sports psychology and mental training. And if you're interested in any of the programs I have available, I've put links to those in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I wish you the best of success in all that you do.